We play and call it work.
Hey folks, Janene from MiniWarGaming here with another how-to video for you. In this video, we are going to start painting the Slaughterpriest, and we're going to begin with the skin. However, we're going to do a very non-traditional look to the skin. We want it to be a very pale purpley gray. As always, if you have suggestions for something you'd like to see in a future how-to video, please leave them down below in the comments. We're going to start with the color Nugger Off Night. We're going to mix it with a little bit of Lamian Medium before we apply it, and we're doing that with all of our colors except any shades that we use. And we're just applying this all over all of the skin. We don't want it to go on too thickly at first. We're going to apply it in controlled layers and build up the color slowly so that it goes on really smooth and we don't lose any detail. And this is just going to help us brighten up the black so that we have a more pigmented base for the rest of our colors, and we're going to highlight up and up and up until we get to a really bright, dull, dead skin look. Next, I'm going to highlight with Xerius Purple. And I'm going to use this over most of the skin area. I'm leaving that really dark purple just in the really deep cracks between each of these defined muscles. I want to make sure that there's a really deep shadow in those areas. But since we're going so light, this color is going to be over most of the muscly area at this point. Again, I'm applying it slowly. I'm working up the color slowly. I don't want it to go on too thick. I just want to do a lot of little layers, especially since I'm going to be doing so many layers of highlight. It's really important that I make sure that everything goes on in a really thin, controlled way. As we highlight, we're going to start to contour the shape of the muscles and really exaggerate their roundness and make them look even bigger than they're already sculpted to be. And we're going to do that by keeping our dark colors on the outer edges and our bright colors towards the top where the light would be hitting them. Our next color is going to be Warp Fiend Gray. And this is really going to be the base for that dead gray look versus having just a pure purple. We're going to paint this in a couple different ways. On the really round muscles, like the arms and the abs, we're going to continue with painting the center of the muscle more towards the top where the light would be hitting it, and leaving a darker ring on the outer edge to exaggerate that shape. But on the pectoral muscles on the chest, they're sculpted to be a little bit stringy and to have this kind of striped look on them. And we're actually going to exaggerate that with this color. So we're not going to paint it in a flat way. We're going to paint it kind of in streaks that mimic that look and make the muscle look really tight and unhealthy. And as I build that up, I'm going to fill them out a little bit more in certain areas and kind of increase the spot of color on the large, broad areas of the pectoral. But I'm just kind of eyeballing it, make sure that I have a good balance of highlight versus exaggerating the texture. And I'm kind of going back and forth, working with the color and building it up slowly until it looks the way that I want it to. And with this color, it's especially important that once we get our base coat down, we go back in and we highlight even further. That first layer, since it's mixed with Lamian Medium, is going to be a little bit translucent. And so adding this second, more opaque layer on top of it, we can use it also as an opportunity to help highlight. Since this one's going to be a brighter layer, we can paint slightly less of the model, and that's going to help us with our transition between different shades. Our next color is Slaanesh Gray. Our next layer, we're doing basically the same thing. However, we're just painting less of the model this time. This Slaanesh Gray is even brighter than our previous layer, so it's going to continue to build it up, and it's going to really make it look like it's unhealthy, dead flesh. Next, we're going to take some Druchii Violet, and we're just applying a little bit of this into the cracks between muscles. We don't want to use a lot. We don't really need to darken our shadow much because we started with such a dark color. However, this is going to create a translucent layer that's going to kind of help blend our light colors into our dark colors a little bit and give us another little bit of a blend there. We're going to add one final highlight, and that is with the color Pallid Witch Flesh. This is a super bright color. It's actually going to appear as if it's almost white on top of the skin. So we don't need to use a lot of it. It's just going to add one more pale, ghostly, ethereal look to the skin, make it look even more unhealthy, even more unnatural. And we're really just accentuating the areas that we really want to stand out, really pushing the bright texture on the pectoral muscles and the very top of some of the bigger muscles everywhere else. All right, and with that final highlight, the flesh on the Slaughterpriest is complete. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos, I have another one where I'm going to paint the rusty sword blade on the Slaughterpriest in the MiniWarGaming Vault in the link down below in the description. If you don't already have a Vault membership, you can go ahead and click the link, sign up for a 7-day free trial, and get access to my video, as well as hundreds of other videos in the MiniWarGaming Vault. So go ahead, click the link, start your free trial, and happy wargaming!